Hi everyone, it's the Tides Changing here, and welcome to part 5 of Let's Build a Suburban House. So in the comments of the last part, the main consensus was that the, color of the siding and the brick and the black shutters all look good. There were some of you who didn't like the brick, but the majority of you did, and I do as well, so I'm going to keep all of the exterior walls how they are. And another common theme was that something needs to be done with these trees in the front here, more specifically that the oak tree here covers up too much of the front of the house, and also that the Japanese beech tree here doesn't really fit in that well. And also, Andrea asked that I click on this so you all could see how much I am spending, so I will do that. But now I'm just going to get rid of the tree right here, and I was thinking that I could move the oak tree here over to this corner, and some of you did suggest that I do that. So I'm going to put it over here in the far corner so that it covers up as little of the house as possible and then, turn it so when you look at it from the front, it really doesn't cover up that much of it. So I think that's fine because, it adds a nice bit of, it adds a nice touch to the front of the house and doesn't block off too much because you can still see everything. So I think that location's fine, although I do need to touch up the dirt under here a little bit, so I'm just going to erase that bit right there and put in some new dirt underneath where the tree actually is now. So let me just get that really quick. And then over here I did want to put in a smaller tree, so there's still something there, but it doesn't cover up as much of the house. So I was thinking I could try the hawthorn tree, which is this one right here. So it's a nice leafy tree, but it is, pretty short, so it's not really gonna cover up too much. So I think that that is a good tree to put in there. I really like how that looks, so I think that's good, and it doesn't really cover up a whole lot. So let me just get dirt underneath of that as well. Another suggestion was by, so Rin suggested that I add more of a plant variety to the garden here, and then BB suggested that I add a little bit more height to the flowers because it looks like, looks kind of weedy. And I do agree with that, that maybe there needs to be some more taller and more distinguished plants in here. So I'm gonna get rid of some of these flowers. So I'll keep that one in there and those ones in there and just add taller plants in there. Cause yeah, I do agree that it does need a little bit more color and a little bit more variety and height to it, so it looks more like an actual flower garden and not a bunch of weeds. So I'll just put in some more of these and maybe get another a little more colorful plant in there. So I don't think, okay, yeah, so we can't change the color of that one, but maybe we can add that one in here as well, and maybe make that, we can go with this color for that. So yeah, I think some more pops of color would be good for here. We can also put this in, so that definitely adds in some more height. And actually, maybe I want to put this type of a plant in the back here. So I think that would look nice, and we can also have the lavender in there. And then right here, we can have some more lavender back in there, and I think that plant would look nice as well. And one of these. And then I definitely have to have something else in there right next to it, so we can have this. And I think that definitely made it look a little bit better, made it look more like a flower garden. And yeah, I'm going to take that one out and actually put in some more of a variety of plants. And we could put one of these in that, that's the type of plant that I took out there. And right here, maybe we'll just use something we used. We'll put in this one right here. And perhaps, I don't think, yeah, there we go. Actually, I have one of those right behind it, so maybe I don't want to do that. So let's see, what can we put in there? Perhaps, nope, I just grabbed the same one by accident. Perhaps one of these. Yeah, I think that's fine because that's a different plant right there. So there we go. The garden has a little bit more variety now, and I do think that does look a lot better. Like it looks a lot more varied, and not like a bunch of weeds. Because I was kind of thinking, worrying about that myself. That it was a little bit too low lying, and I figured that was something I would want to go back in and fix. So I think that definitely looks a lot better, and maybe over here I can take out these plants and just make it look more like the other side, and add in some of the more various plants that I put in over there as well. So just so it looks a little bit more symmetrical and like there's more continuity between the two sides. So let's see, I think, yeah, there we go. I can wedge another one of those in there, and I think I had, well, I don't know if I want to throw more of these in over there since that's not really a very wide space, so perhaps I could put, no, don't want to do another one of those. Maybe I could just have another one of these. Yeah, I'll just have another one of these over here, and perhaps a rock along the side here, and I can always fit in a couple more plants in there next to that. So yeah, we'll just have a rock there, and another... Yeah, we'll have one of these. And then we can fit in something else right there. So let me see what I want to have. I think we'll go with this, since we don't have one of these over here. There we go. So, yeah, I think that's pretty good for the front yard. Like I said, I just want to keep things simple, not have a ton of stuff in front of the house blocking it. Plus, it's such a small yard that it just really wouldn't look right to have a ton of landscaping. But Caleb did point out that after I moved the decks that this column was off-center. I meant to go in and correct the columns, but then I just completely forgot about it, so thank you for reminding me to do that. So I'm just going to completely take that out of there since it's such a small space now. And these ones don't look right either, so I'm going to move them over a little bit. So I know that's not really evenly spaced, but this way it's kind of like the columns are directly in front of this edge right here, so there is some sort of logic to it, I guess. So, you know, to me that looks right, and then I definitely have to fix this up here because this just looks sort of off. I do want to see if... I don't think I can really... Yeah, I can't really center that there. So there are 21 squares across here, so to get these to be spaced evenly, I can just get rid of this column here, and I think this is 5, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, so there's 7, and then 2, 3, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There we go. So yeah, I think that should be pretty good right there. That looks good to me. So moving on around here, I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to get this evenly spaced. I think that looks fine. And then also Stephanie, Personify Peach, and Ashley suggested that I actually put bigger windows into the dining room here, so it lets in more light, and also Treon X28 suggested that there be more windows, you know, once again, so that the dining room's very light and airy feeling with, you know, a lot of light coming into it. Yeah, because right now there's not a ton of light, so I will do that really quick. So let me just replace it all with the floor-to-ceiling windows, and I'm just gonna center it into the room. So I think, yeah, I think that looks fine. And then let me see how it looks like the windows upstairs. It's not quite like symmetrical underneath of it, but I guess that's fine. Although I don't know if maybe it would look better to have the window that was originally in there all the way around rather than the really big floor-to-ceiling ones, because I'm not sure if it's a little bit much to have that in there. So actually, let me try that. Yeah, I think that actually looks better than having the floor-to-ceiling ones, because I feel like the floor-to-ceiling ones were just a little bit too much in there, especially with the trim. So I think this is fine. You know, there's gonna be a good bit of light coming in here. But yeah, you guys can let me know what you think of it. I was just worried that the floor-to-ceiling windows in there may be a little much. But I think that those were all of the suggestions to address. So now I'm going to progress onwards with the landscaping. And oh, really quick, there was one thing that I did want to change. So I want to change these windows on the side of the house to be the shuttered ones, so that there's more shuttered windows on this house. And plus, you know, this is an even number of, you know, the even number of tiles right here, so, you know, it felt like it made more sense to have a shuttered window in there on the side, and plus it would make the side of the house look a little bit better. And also, Mudita did suggest that I have more shuttered windows on the front of the house. So what I did want to do originally was add in this shuttered bay window right here, but the problem with it is that the black shutters do have all of this like as black as well, which just looks really weird. And then the brown shutters have the inside white, but then, you know, you can obviously tell that the shutters are different colors. So it's not really going to work to use that, unfortunately. That was really the only 3-tile wide window with shutters. But what I was thinking was that maybe I could put in shuttered windows here on either side of that window there. Kind of like this window's sharing the shutters, but not really. But then again, I'm not sure if that looks odd at all. So this is one of those things that you guys can, you know, let me know what you think about. So yeah, here's how that looks. I guess it doesn't look too bad. I'm not sure if it looks kind of odd though. I don't want to do it here as well because that might just get really, really busy. But if you all think that this looks strange, then, you know, I can take that out for the next part. And around this side, I just want to have a couple trees because I don't want there to be. I don't want to have a ton of landscaping on the side of the house because I feel like that'd be sort of unrealistic and it would just be kind of crazy. So I'm thinking I can have maybe just have two trees here, like these two. So we can just kind of have two different kinds of trees on the side of the house there, and I think that that will be, or maybe I can just have two of these birch trees in here. So I don't know if it might look kind of odd to have, two different kinds of trees right next to each other. So I don't know. I think that's enough for the side there because I don't want to have too much landscaping. Just have it look really ridiculous. And moving back here, a lot of you did want me to have a pool, and I will of course be putting in a pool. I've been planning to put a pool in here all along, so I'm just gonna put it out here on the grass, and I think I'm gonna do a kind of octagonal shape, so it's something a little bit more interesting than just a square, but I'm gonna keep it pretty simple, this isn't the type of house. It's a nice house, but it's not like so nice I would have some fancy complex pool. So I think this is fine for it, and maybe we want to put this in here. Actually, that's too big. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe we could make the pool a little bit smaller. I don't know if this is too big. So seeing center in front of there. Because there's not really a ton of yard space, so I don't want the pool to be humongous and just take up a ton of space. But I think that looks fine. And then there we have the ladder, and actually, I don't really know about that. And then we, of course, also have to put in the lights right here, all around it. Let me just get that. So let me make sure those are all the same height. Yeah, I think I got them all the same height. So we're just have a nice simple pool. Nothing too crazy or, that takes up too much space. And then as far as I think I want to go with the rock paint here underneath of it. And I like using I know there's a floor that looks exactly like this, but I like using the actual terrain paint because I feel like it has kind of a softer look on the edges, which I do like a little bit more. So let me just get this all the way around. Because I can't really get underneath the pool with it, so I kind of have to use the smaller brush under there. And then now we can move back onto this one. So I don't really want this to be a huge space. And I guess we can have it, maybe not go all the way there. We can have some more plants and stuff in the backyard here. And then there we go. Actually, maybe I want to use this. I don't know, maybe that one actually looks a little bit better. Let's see. Actually, on second thought, I think rather than going with one of these terrain paints, you know what? I think I'm just gonna use one of these concrete type floors. I think this one. Let me give this a try. Just because, from what I remember, like I guess when I was growing up, a lot of times, community pools and stuff like that, they had concrete around them rather than stone. 'Cause I remember growing up, one of my friends had a in-ground pool in her backyard, and it just had concrete around it rather than a bunch of stone. So, I just wanted to go with that, although I do wish it was a little bit more tan looking than this. But I don't think... maybe that looks a little bit better. Yeah, I think that kind of ties in with the coloring of the house a little bit more, because I didn't want to go with a gray type of a concrete, because that just doesn't really tie in. So I think that one out of the colors probably looks best, although I do wish that there was a more of a bright type of a color. Although I guess this one looks fine. Let me go around the front where there's a little bit more light and see how that looks. Whoops. Yeah, I think that, I think that one's actually fine. So I'm just gonna have a little bit of concrete around here, and then, I'll have more landscaping all around here. But, I don't really want it to get you know, I don't want things to get too crazy, and then I will have it extend a little bit over this way because I did want to put in a nice bar off of that. And then maybe we can have it go a little bit over this way so we can have a nice table right here as well, you know, with an umbrella. And then have some nice landscaping around that. So I'll just go ahead and put in some landscaping now and see how all of that looks. So just kind of like, I'll just kind of do what I did like with the front yard. And let's have just a nice simple lavender plant there. And just put a whole bunch of flowers in here. So I think I think that that'll look nice, and it'll look a lot better once all the landscaping and all of that kind of stuff is put in. Actually, like, there we go. Sometimes this doesn't extend all the way over, then I have to click out and then click back in. But what do I want to use? Oh, I think this is a, yeah, that's a good plant to use in the corner there, and I wonder if you can, okay, so we can't change the colors of that one. And this was another nice one, but I don't think, yeah, we can't change those as well. And then let's put in a nice large plant right there. So I'll change this one to, you know, let's go with a nice blue just to get a different kind of color in there. And let's have, actually, maybe it'll look better to have a rock in here than another flower. So there we go. We can have a rock in there as kind of a nice border. And maybe in one of those large green shrubs right here. So perhaps this one. Yeah, I think that that looks nice. And then, actually, maybe I should put the bar in there first and then, you know, landscape around it just to see how, be able to see how everything would look around it. Because I could also have a bunch of plants behind it as well. So that might look nice. And I think I want to go with one of these. I think I want to go with one of the more narrow ones because, yeah, I want there to be, you know, I want it to look like there's some room to be able to get around the bar. So maybe... maybe this one would be the best outdoor looking one. I don't want to use the tiki bar because while it is cool, it just kind of, it's a little much, I think. But let's see if there's a color of this that would look a little bit better. Maybe perhaps the darker one here, although we could try this one. You know what, actually, I like this. I like this one here a little bit more. That looks more like just, you know, it's an outdoor bar. I want something that's just sort of simple. Looks like maybe it could stand up to the elements. And then we, of course, need a bar stool, and I think for that, just, maybe we could just go with these. Let's see, I think that looks good. Yeah, I think that color is good, you know, nothing too crazy, and maybe I could also just make it diagonal here. So let's see, let's do Control F, and okay, so apparently you have to get rid of that and then put the flooring in. Alright, so yeah, if you hold down Control plus F, then you can place floor tile diagonally, for those of you who didn't know that. So I'm just gonna do that, and then kind of plants going all the way around this. I think that would look pretty nice. And then now let's go back to the plant selection here and pick out some more plants, and let's go with this one right here. So I just want to have kind of like lots of different plants and go with a more random looking, I guess more random and natural looking type of a plant placement, and then just have a rock there. And I don't want to use like plants that are really high right here just because this all back here is going to be kind of open, so I don't want it to look strange. So we'll just have this, and let's see, put another one of these in here. Let's see, what else do I want to use? Maybe we could have one of these right here. Yeah, we'll have one of those right there in the corner, and I think that will look good. And maybe some lilac. So, I mean, I guess I am using some kind of high plants, but I guess I meant that I didn't really want to have a ton of just high plants here that looks kind of like a wall, if that makes any sense. And whoops, I meant to use the eyedropper, not the sledgehammer. For whatever reason, I keep doing that. And then we'll just have another one of those right there, and maybe another one of these, but with a different color back here. Yeah, so I think that's looking, you know, pretty nice so far. We can have another tree back here. Maybe I'll put another oak tree back behind this, so you just have a nice scenic type of a scene right there. I don't know, planting plants is kind of, I guess, it's sort of a tedious process, I know, but at the same time, it's very relaxing and almost therapeutic, because I just kind of just keep grabbing plants without, like, I just grab plants and then without thinking about it much, I just place them, and then Most of the time it ends up looking good, then sometimes I place a bunch of plants and then I look at it and I'm like, what did I just do? So there we go, there's a nice rock there, and I'm just gonna have maybe some rocks back here. It's just some rocks as kind of like a border to it. So let's see. Maybe I could just have rocks all along back here. If I can do that, there we go, and just have another one right there. Yeah, I think that actually looks pretty good. And I mean, as always, you guys can, let me know what you think of whatever I'm doing. And there we go. Couldn't quite get that connected, but I think that looks fine. And then we need some more plants, of course. So let's get another one of those ones in there, and another one of these. And I don't know, I just like to like grab different, like rather than placing the same plant all over the place. I don't know why, I just like grab different ones and then just place them. I don't know, I guess so I get it, like I said, a more natural, varied look, because whenever I plant a bunch of one plant at the same time, I tend to do it in a more symmetrical and orderly kind of fashion, and it doesn't end up looking as natural and random as if I just, just grab different things and put them down. So that's why I do that, even though it takes a little bit longer, it's a little bit more tedious. I think it ends up giving a more natural look. So I think that looks pretty good. So we kind of have this, rock wall here separating these flowers, and then maybe I could scooch this one in a little bit more and add a rock there since it just looks kind of odd. Yeah, so there we go. And then of course now we had to put the dirt underneath of it, and at least using the flooring rather than the, oh, let me put this under here. At least using the flooring rather than the terrain paint makes it a little bit easier to not, screw up this. Because if I use terrain paint, I have to be very careful about not putting dirt over it at all. So let me just lightly dab that all over the place. And I'm not sure whether I want to pack in more plants in here or not, or just leave it as is. I think it's fine, and yeah, I don't think it really needs anything else. And I could border this, but the only problem is that the low-lying fences in The Sims 4 really aren't that low-lying at all. Like, that one just kind of takes out all the plants, but yeah, it takes out all the plants, and then it looks like a little much. If it was like, there was a fence in The Sims 3 that was kind of barely there, and I wish there was still something like that in this game, because that was really useful for situations like this, because I do wish I could border this, but that's really the lowest lying fence, and it's a lot higher than I want it to be. But yeah, anyway, let me get a look at it from the, the view of looking at the bar. So I think that looks pretty good. And I just realized that I sort of missed the dirt right there. So let me just finish that up. So I'm putting on a little bit heavier than usual just because it's like, this isn't really blending into anything else. Yeah, so there we go. And oh yeah, I did want to put in an oak tree right behind here. And I just grabbed the wrong tree again. Alright, come on. There we go. There's the oak tree. Alright. So yeah, I think this would be a good way to fill in this space right here. So we can just do that, and it kind of overhangs over the bar. So yeah, I definitely think that finishes it up and makes it look so much better to have that tree back there. So I think that is rather good for the side there. Let me just put that dirt underneath of it. Actually, I think I put that on a little bit too heavy, so let me redo that. There we go. Alright, I think that's good. And, oh yes, right here I wanted to have a table, so I'm going to do the same thing I did on the other side and make it diagonal. So once again, holding down Control and F, and then I can now place it tile diagonally. And then I wanted to have the table with the umbrella, which is really nice looking. So I think there we go. I think that one's good, and this is definitely a nice little space for that, so they can just sit there and eat right beside the pool. And I do need to pick a color for it, so I think, you know what, I think we'll go with green. I like that. Kind of goes with a natural theme, so that was a pretty easy choice there. And I think that this is the chair that's supposed to match with it. So let's see if we can find that in green. Alright, there we go. I think that matches perfectly, so that's pretty good. That was a rather easy color choice right there. So there is a nice table for them to eat at, and I think I'm going to do the same thing over here. Although I did want to have a path going from here over to the sidewalk, so let me do that really quick, and then I'll have some more landscaping kind of going around that up to the path go off here. And for the path, I'll just use the same, I think it was this one. Oh wait, no, that's, I meant terrain paint. But that terrain, that, version in terrain paint. So it'll be a little bit different than the concrete and be more of a path type of, actually, maybe we want to use this. Let's see. Yeah, I think it'd be better just to keep it a little more subtle and do that. Yeah, there we go. I think that looks pretty good. So now I'm gonna do some more landscaping up around that. And once again, just randomly picking stuff to get that random natural garden type of a look in here. And then let's grab this one right for here, and I think a rock would be good. Yeah, we'll just have a rock in there, and oh, we can actually fit that there. Okay, so there we go. That looks good, but I think I'm going to change the color of that. Let's do, there we go. Let's do yellow. That looks pretty nice. And I do want one of these somewhere, so we can have this right in here. There we go. And yeah, my method of placing plants is probably a little odd, but I guess it works. So let's see, there we go, right there, and I think, there we go, let's just place another one of these, and I don't really want to place any more rocks back here, because I'm once again going to be bordering it with rocks, so I don't want to have too many rocks in there, and I think a little bit of lavender would look nice, and I think I need to start picking out some different kinds of flowers. So let's go with another one of these, and we just have one of those right there. Actually, let me wedge you in a little bit more. And then I think that this one would be good. There we go. Alright, that looks good. And another one of you. And then now I think we can put the rock border in. So I want to have it go right onto the path. Yeah, there we go. Alright, I think that's fine. And then just one more right here. Alright, so that is definitely coming along, and of course I now have to fix up the terrain painting underneath of it. So once again, just going to put it a little bit heavier right next to the concrete. Yeah, so I'm pretty happy with how the backyard here is coming along. I think it looks pretty nice. And now I'm just going to do the same thing over on the other side here. And I wanted to have some flower beds right off of here, so I'm just going to keep that empty. And then maybe another tree in here, and then perhaps a kids' jungle gym, because I think back in the first part, someone commented saying that they wanted there to be some kids' playground equipment, and the only one that you can really fit into a house is the jungle gym, so I can just have a jungle gym there right in the corner, and you can get to it by walking off this path right here, so I think it would work a lot better on that side, and then like I said, some garden beds here and a tree there. So I think that would be good for the backyard. I don't think I'm gonna do the whole backyard this part, because I think I've spent enough time so far, and I don't want this to end up being too long. And I think we need something else. Maybe there we go. Yeah, we can get some lavender in right there. And there we go. I'm just going to finish up this whole side. And okay, so we already have that one of those there. Alright, there we go. I think that looks pretty nice in there. And then one of these, just so it's something a little bit different. Yeah, so I think that's good for here. I didn't want there to be as many plants over on this side as as there are on the other side, because I didn't want to get things to get too, I didn't want the landscaping in the backyard to be too ridiculous. Oh, God, I always do that. I always grab the sledgehammer instead of the eyedropper. Like, I do that, like, when I'm building on my own without doing commentary at the same time. I do that so much. I guess because I'm just kind of looking at what I plan to do, and then I just go up here and just pick something, and it ends up being the wrong thing. And then we need just one more little rock, so we'll go with this. There we go. Alright, I think we can... There we go. And then we just have to do the dirt right here. Alright. Alright, there we go. That is coming together nicely. And I also wanted to put another one of these in here as well, so we can have another European beech tree right there. So there we go. And I think the next part, I should be able to finish up the landscaping in the next part, which means that part 7 will mark the beginning of the interior, which I know a lot of you have been waiting for, and I think we just, I feel like there needs to be something out here, so I'll just have one of those by its lonesome. And then I did want to put in the jungle gym really quick. I don't think I'm going to finish the whole garden this part, because I'm pretty sure this part is probably long enough at this point. But where was the outdoor activities? Outdoor. Oh yeah, I do have to put a grill in here. So that I will do that. I will do that next part. And let's just have it kind of diagonally in here. There we go. All right, and then we can have some dirt underneath of there. And ooh, I didn't have it all the way down on the softest. All right, let me redo that. All right, there we go. So I think that that's pretty good. I could have a little path going over here, but I'm not really sure if that's necessary. Yeah, I mean, I could add that in later in the next part if you guys think that that should be there. And then I think we need another oak tree right in here above it, so we'll just have it turned like that. Do we want it right over it? You know, I think that that looks good. I think that's all that I'm going to do for the yard in this part though, so you know, I can see what you all suggest and then, you know, continue on with the yard by using those suggestions. But I will turn on to the afternoon view really quick because I think that that lights up the backyard a little bit better, so you can see this all a little bit brighter. I am kind of worried that maybe the rocks here are a little bit too much, and maybe it would look better if I just took the rocks out on the edges of it. So you guys can let me know what you think of those rocks and whether it's too busy enough, and you know, what you think of the backyard here in general. But I'm going to go ahead and end the part here, so I hope you'll enjoy the video. Thanks for watching, and bye!